Yeah, actually, I can just copy and paste that down here. All right, I'll just forward that to you right there. So.
Thank you.
Cardboard stats. That work?
Yeah.
Okay. Very good.
So I'm working on a short feature about 750 words, maybe to 1,000 words feature for my environmental writing article, which is instructed by Dr. Liedman. I don't know if you know.
I don't, but I've had several people from other environmental writing classes come talk to me. So yeah. So why I came up with the idea about the cardboard is because we just passed the Black Friday. So, So I think we may get a lot of many people will get a lot of packages. Definitely.
And I think that would be a problem because if you have 10 boxes at home, you don't know how to deal with those things. And I just did a little bit of research about this issue globally. I think I come from China. We have maybe 1 billion packages in our holidays per day. 1 billion packages per day. So I think it's a global issue. So I think it would be very interesting to see how what's going on right now about this and how people like you and how people on campus deal with this issue and how can we do better.
Great.
So that's why I reached out to you. Thanks.
Great. Well, yeah, I appreciate the background. That helps definitely.
So shall we get started?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay. So first is how does the cardboard recycle process work at UT campus?
Sure. So I have one full-time driver who collects cardboard 5 days a week. He starts on Sundays and goes through Thursday, so that's each week. He works 8 hours a day. Sunday it's in the morning from 7 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. and Monday through Thursday he works in the evening from 4 p.m. to 12:30 a.m. He drives a rear load recycling truck. And when we started, a lot of it was manual. He would have to throw it in by hand. But now we've transitioned to most of the locations are dumpsters. So he empties the dumpsters and puts them back into place. So there are, I could look, actually I don't know off the top of my head, approximately 80 locations on campus where he collects cardboard. 80 different buildings or locations where he collects cardboard from on campus. Some of those we collect every day. A lot of them it's every other day. So usually he can cover all 80 stops in 2 days, essentially. That's our goal.
It's 18 or 80?
80.
Wow.
Yeah, 80. Yeah.
So basically it's just one pen.
No problem. Yeah,
just one
person collecting it, right? Wow. But prior to it being collected at that final point, students, faculty and staff, and also the building services staff and facility services, or the housekeeping staff and housing, they take the cardboard out to that final dumpster location at each building. So I would say that the vast majority is handled by building services. Aramark, I guess, the dining services on campus as well. They handle cardboard at the dining facilities. Housing handles it for housing. Housekeeping staff handles it there. We encourage people to flatten their boxes and put it into the containers.
So the driver basically is the last
piece, correct.
Okay.
And so he picks it up when the truck gets full. He takes it to West Rock Recycling, which is they're a really large company, but the recycling division of West Rock is relatively small. They're a packaging company. They're a paper company. So they make cardboard boxes and cardboard displays and paper boxes and other things like that. So they're the box company, essentially a paper company. But they have a recycling division here in Knoxville, and they pay us for that cardboard. And I sent you some of the statistics from our most recent year. So when I first started, just to give you a little bit of history and background, I've been here since 2007.
It's 10 years.
Yeah, and when I first arrived here, most of the cardboard was just flattened and put on the sidewalk in front of the building. There was no container for it, anything. And I had one driver who picked it up in a pickup truck with a cage. He would throw it in there, and he would drive to one central location and put it in a baler. And then a lot of different things happened. The truck got wrecked, and so we started looking at different options anyway, and it's transformed into the way we do it now. But in 2007, we recycled like 100 tons of cardboard that year. And in 2017, we recycled 400 tons of cardboard. So we've quadrupled in that 10-year period. So we had to change the way that we collected, and that's been one of my primary areas of focus. Cardboard's very valuable, so as a commodity for recycling, and there's a lot of it. And we work with furniture installers on campus, and the local community. They bring cardboard to us now, so we've improved pretty dramatically how we deal with cardboard on campus.
How do you increase the awareness of people recycling the cardboard? Because like you said, in 2007, they just put the cardboard on the sidewalk with no containers.
Right.
So how do you let people know it is
right? A large portion of it is, I don't know if you're familiar with the movie Field of Dreams, or like the idea of Field of Dreams. Anyway, like if you build it, they will come, right? So when we started adding the infrastructure, the cardboard came, right? So when we added containers that were designated that, cardboard only, please flatten boxes, and it's a designated spot, we immediately started seeing increases in cardboard. And then we work with the cleaners and, furniture contractors, with designers, etc., to try to educate, hey, if you have cardboard, flatten it. Same thing with dining services. Convenience is a huge factor in people recycling, so we've tried to make it as convenient as possible. So at least as convenient as throwing something away.
Like you said, convenience. So like every week I go to the UT recycling center to drop off something.
Right.
But I just found out if I have like 10 cardboard boxes, and I have to flat it by myself, and then deliver them to the location.
Right.
So it is. So I mean, you have to do something.
You do.
Yeah.
Yeah. True. And our goal has not really been so much the community at large as the campus community, and we've focused on the areas that generate the most cardboard. So dining services, because they're constantly getting shipments of cardboard in, right? So, that's where we put a lot of our focus. And the community, we rely on word of mouth, but we have posters, and we've contacted apartment complexes in the area. We've done some public recycling drop-off awareness events. So, my focus has been the infrastructure and the system, and less on the outreach and education, but we're starting more to do outreach and education about recycling. So
that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
How many cardboard? I think I have your data. So do you see a huge cardboard consumption increase, like this year's in Knoxville or at UT?
During certain periods?
Yeah, just since 2007.
You know, I've never really thought of it that way.
Uh-huh.
I've seen a decrease in paper consumption,
Okay.
right? Like
Okay.
if you think about it, you
Electronic
don't
thing.
see,
Yeah.
right, you don't
Yeah.
see newspapers very much
Yeah, yeah.
anymore, phone books,
Yeah.
magazines, most
Yeah.
of those have gone away,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah.
we've actually seen a decrease
Okay.
in the amount of paper. I've never really thought about an increase in the amount of cardboard,
Mhm.
but of actually consumed, I've always just thought we were doing a better job of capturing what was already going into the waste stream.
Mm-hmm.
But if you think about it, there probably has been an increase in the amount of cardboard like consumed because of all of the, you know, e-commerce
Mm-hmm.
and things like that, where and electronics are changing constantly and people are upgrading constantly.
Mhm.
And you know, I think I've never really thought of it, but I would assume that there has been an increase in cardboard consumption over the last 10 years. But like I said, I've never really thought about it. But I would assume that there is, because I mean, Amazon, it probably existed 10 years ago, but it wasn't nearly as popular as it is right now, right? If you think about it. So eBay, all of those, right, have exploded over the last 10 years. So, yeah, I never really thought about that, but that's an interesting, that's something to research for sure. I'm sure there has been, you know. I've seen statistics, I don't remember where I've seen it, but I've quoted this before, that 90% of products shipped worldwide are shipped in cardboard.
90%.
Yeah, so almost everything comes in cardboard, right? So, and maybe that has changed in the last 10 years as well. Maybe, you know, they were in different types of packaging in the past, and now everything's in cardboard.
Yeah.
I don't know, but there's a lot of it, that's for sure. So I think one of your questions was the number of boxes.
Mm-hmm.
I've never whittled it down to that.
Okay.
You know, that's very fine detail, right? And I'm more like how many tons have we collected, right? And so you could figure how many. You could assume one box weighs like 1.5 pounds or 2 pounds, and say 1,000 boxes equals 1 ton or something. But I've never really gotten down to that level of fine detail. So.
Could you explain a little bit more about how cardboard recycling benefits the environment and sustainability? Sustainability, right? Yeah.
Sure. So there's definitely an economic factor to it, of course. I mentioned that. And you'll see in that email that I sent you that there's an economic piece to it, but it costs the university about $45 a ton to dispose of waste on campus, which is, I mean, I don't know how it is in China, but that's relatively inexpensive, even for the United States standards, right? This region of the country, for whatever reason, it's very inexpensive. It's very cheap to throw things away. Having said that, that's still not free, right? $45 a ton. So there's that economic incentive. And on the flip side, when we recycle cardboard, we get paid for that cardboard. We deliver it to West Rock, and they pay us for that. And you know, it varies as low as, you know, $20 a ton and as much as $150 a ton. And we're on the high end of that right now. We're getting over $100 a ton, like $110 or $120 a ton for that. So if you think about that gap, you know, if we're getting $100 a ton and we're avoiding paying $45 a ton, literally every cardboard ton that we're recycling has a total economic value of $145, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, you that adds up pretty quickly, and it more than pays for the employee who collects the cardboard, right?
Okay,
It's valuable enough that
Yeah.
we're making more money than it's costing us to recycle the cardboard. So there's that aspect of it.
Yeah.
Of course, cardboard's made from trees, right? We all know that it's a paper product, and as responsibly as forests may be managed, it's still more cost effective to recycle the cardboard. Look at a life cycle analysis of cutting trees down, making them into cardboard versus recycling them and making it into something else.
Yeah.
You're saving water, you're saving energy, you're saving transportation, you're saving trees, of course.
Yeah.
Lots and lots of resources go into making things from virgin material versus recycling it. That there's, energy and water and all types of savings that way. So, and then of course landfill space. Our trash from campus, it goes to a transfer station in Knoxville, but the landfill is an hour away in Athens, Tennessee.
Okay.
So our trash is traveling 15 minutes this way and then an hour this way just to be disposed of, right?
Okay.
And there, it's when it breaks down, because it is organic, right? It creates methane in the landfill.
Yeah, okay.
And some of that methane escapes. It's a greenhouse gas.
Yes.
It's more potent than carbon dioxide. Climate change effects, all of those sorts of things. So there's environmental impacts there as well, of course. And then, taking up space in that landfill, when that landfill fills up, where's the next landfill going to be built? Probably even further away from campus, right?
Okay.
So there's plus millions of dollars to close it and open a new one, etc. So, yeah. And nobody wants a giant garbage truck rolling by the front door.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they're not closed well, and so there's litter problems. There's, water leaking from the landfills. I mean, there's all kinds of things that we don't want to. Landfills are not the best solution.
Okay. Like for example, if you deliver like 100 cardboard boxes to the West Rock, how many of them can be recycled, can be reproduced to a new paper product?
So West Rock does one of two things with the cardboard. It either gets made back into packaging, right? Because that's what they do as a company. So they take the recycling, and when they need it in their mill, they send it to the mill, and they make cardboard packaging products of all different kinds, like just food boxes and other things like that they make from the cardboard that they generate or that they collect. Or it goes to a company called TAMCO.
TAMCO.
Yeah, TAMKO. And they make, it's with a K.
Okay, oh, sorry.
Yeah, KO. Yeah, you're fine. They're here in Knoxville. Perfect. And they make roofing materials, so shingles and roofing paper. So the cardboard in that case, doesn't go back into a cardboard box. It actually kind of gets downcycled a little bit and gets made into like roofing paper. Have you seen the black tar paper they call it that they put on the roof underneath the shingles? That like waterproof membrane that they put on there. That's what that is. So that's what a lot of the cardboard gets made into that. So I don't know, how many boxes equals how many feet of that, or I don't know any of those statistics, but I do know that those are the two things. It either goes back into packaging by West Rock or TAMCO roofing paper. So, and both of those are right here in Knoxville. So the Knoxville West Rock box plant is in Knoxville, and the roofing paper plant is in Knoxville as well. So both of the cardboard goes to West Rock, which is like not even a mile from this building. It's really close. It's just down the road. And then from there it goes like 2 miles down the road one way or 2 miles down the road another way by train to either one of those two facilities.
So you mean recycling locally is very important?
It is, yeah, definitely. So obviously it's creating jobs at both of those facilities. You know, it's supporting the local economy as people are buying those products right here, using them right here in Knoxville as well. So yeah, it's definitely. I know somebody that works at the box plant for West Rock. So yeah, he makes great money.
Okay.
Able to support his family. It's a good job.
Yeah. That's good. Okay. So do you have any like new plans recently on cardboard recycling?
One of the areas that we need to make improvements in, I don't have major plans necessarily, but
It's okay.
In offices on campus, you know, I would consider them more like a small generator of cardboard, right? They're still going to get their FedEx shipments and
Sure.
the Amazon shipments, you know, they're going to get, but it's not like a big warehouse or a dining facility or, you know, places like that are generating a lot of cardboard. But we need to do a better job. Like this is a pretty standard setup for recycling in an office building, right?
Yeah.
The one for paper, the one for landfill, and one for cans and plastic. Notice there's not one for cardboard, right?
Yeah.
So we need to, I don't think we can provide a container for cardboard in each of these locations, mostly because of the way it is. It's very bulky. It doesn't fit in something like that very well, right?
Yeah.
But we need to do a better job of communicating to campus what to do with their cardboard. You know, the message needs to be flattened cardboard and put it, you know, X, Y, or Z. It could be at the stations, you know, out in the hallway, take it all the way to the loading dock, whatever the case might be, but do a better job of communicating that. And the same is true for housing, like the students who live on campus. In order to recycle cardboard, they have to take it out to the recycling container outside of the building. But if they want to recycle cans or plastic or paper, the container's at the end of the hallway, right? So the cardboard's at a disadvantage. So somehow we need to either take away all of the recycling options inside and make everything go outside, or figure out a way to bring cardboard recycling inside and make it more convenient. I've approached housing about both options, and we've not had a lot of success with either option, unfortunately. So, but that's one plan. Another plan, I want to find high generators of cardboard on campus. And right now I mentioned we have a dumpster, but I have an opportunity to provide a cardboard baler where they can put the cardboard directly into the baler, bale it themselves, and then I don't have to pick it up. West Rock will come pick it up for me and take it away. So I'm out of the process, but I still get paid for the cardboard, right? So I'm also looking for opportunities of locations where I could put, you know, one cardboard baler to start, and then if we're successful with that, we add additional cardboard balers. But I have one available and ready to install if I can work out details of where and how to do that. So that's going to be happening in the next, you know, month or two, I hope. So. And that just makes it a little bit more efficient where, you know, if they're generating a lot of cardboard, anything that can compact is going to save space, obviously, but save, you know, some places we have to go twice a day to get cardboard. I'll have to send another driver to go empty, like say the student union, because they're generating so much cardboard.
There.
Right, exactly. So if we could have them just put it directly into a baler, you know, we'd be, you know, ahead if we could figure out a space like that. The student union would be an amazing location to have a cardboard baler. It really would.
So there's a the new student union is under constructing right now.
It is.
So once it is completed, do you think it will be another like high generator?
That's a great question. I think it will. I don't know how much food service, because really the big generators of cardboard are food service and the Vol shop, right? Because it's merchandise. They get a lot of merchandise at that facility. So those are the two big generators there. I don't know. I would have to look at the plans to see, and I usually do, to try to figure out what size of container we will need and the frequency of collection, etc. But I not recently. I have not looked at the student union plans to see what kind of restaurants and other things will be there. But the way those two phases are built, the loading dock is the same space. But they're like a mirror image of each other. And I'll have the same type of trash and recycling set up on each phase. So, but that's a good point. If there's a lot of cardboard generated on that side while we're in this planning and building phase, it would be a perfect time to put a cardboard baler, get it in the plan so the electrical hookups and other things like that are available. So because coming back after the fact and running the conduit for the electricity and everything else, it's problematic because those balers do take high voltage of electricity, like 480 volts of electricity, and it has to be like a 3-phase power type of thing. So it's often difficult to find a place where you can add one after the fact. So yeah.
Okay, so do you have any like challenges or problems in terms of recycling cardboard?
Well, I mentioned, there's not a convenient location in academic buildings and, well, really any building, including housing, of where people can put cardboard, as an interim step, right? Like, so they have to take it all the way outside, or work out with the cleaners. Like if they leave it somewhere that the cleaner knows that it's supposed to be taken out to be flattened and put in the recycling. And so that's probably our biggest challenge. We also the vehicle that we're using to collect it is they purchased it before I got here, so it's 11 years old at this point. Actually, no, it's 12 years old. It was purchased December 1st of 2005. So yeah, tomorrow it turned, or 2 days from now, Friday it turns 12 years old, right? So, and for the constant use that vehicle has, it doesn't have a lot of miles on it, but it has a lot of hours because you can stop and go, you stop, load the cardboard or dump the dumpster, and the engine's revving up and all of that. So that aging equipment I need to find a replacement for.
So you mean there's only one vehicle for the...
We have two actually, but one does paper and plastic and cans, and one does cardboard. And I can use either one to do both, but that would be driving one truck 16 hours a day, right? Which would just wear it out even faster, right? So and I would have two people on 2 different shifts and whatnot. So it's nice to have people on the same work shift doing similar things to help each other and whatnot. So.
Like how do you deal with the cardboard boxes personally? If you buy something online, how do you deal with them?
Yeah, I live in the city of Knoxville. I have a house. And so the city provides a 95-gallon recycling container at my house, and so I just put it in there. Even before the city provided those for free, I actually paid a hauler to pick it up from my house. For the convenience factor, I ride a bike to work. So it's hard for me to like, I'll just put my cardboard boxes in my backpack and ride to work, right?
That doesn't work yet.
Right, it's pretty hard to do. And then, my wife does have a car, but, it's just she's not coming this direction or whatever. And so it just was not super convenient for us to do that. So we opted to pay to have someone pick it up at our house. But now that service is provided as just part of the collection service for the city. So, like single family residences, I think up to 4 units, like a quadplex or whatever you would call that, quadruplex, I don't know. Anyway, they can get one of those carts. But anything more than 4 units in one building, they have to have their own system for waste and recycling, right? So it's considered like a commercial facility at that point, and they have to do their own. So if you live in an apartment, then unless they provide it themselves or pay somebody to do that, then you usually don't have recycling options right at your home, right? So
I think
me personally, that's how I do it. I have a container in my house that they come every other week to empty out. So I flatten the boxes and shove them in the container. And
so the container is specific. It's designated to recycling cardboard.
It's not. It's for all types of recycling. So they call it single stream. So paper, plastic, cans, cardboard. So
Is this the best practice for residents to recycle things?
Here locally, it's a trade-off. I mean, convenience again for the individuals versus efficient collection versus economics, etc. So I mean, there's a lot of factors, but it is definitely the most efficient collection method to mix all of the containers to plastic, paper, cardboard, etc. And it's the most convenient for individuals, but down the road there's pros and cons, like the paper often gets dirty when it's collected all together, etc. It's hard they have to separate, so they have to have a big facility that can separate the different materials. But it is a very efficient collection method, yes. Yeah, so on campus we still keep 3 streams. Out of those single stream, like at my house, we have 3. Paper, cardboard, and plastic and cans on campus. The biggest reason for that is the cardboard. We generate too much cardboard to be able to put it all together. Does that make sense? They won't take our material all mixed together because too much of it is cardboard. They're not set up at their facility to be able to efficiently separate cardboard from the other materials. It's literally by hand. The people take it off a conveyor belt and put it in a big bin underneath, right? So it's difficult for them. We could combine paper and plastic and cans into one stream, but we haven't yet. We're still keeping paper separate from cans of plastic. Maybe one day. Again, it's convenience versus like we get paid for the paper, and it's a higher quality paper than if we just mixed it with the plastic and cans. So I don't know if paper volumes continue to drop. Then it will become more and more viable to mix the two together. So, in the next 5 years, we probably will combine paper and plastic and cans. But cardboard will always be separate.
So you said that paper, plastic, and cardboard. So which one is the most valuable thing?
Cardboard is the most valuable. Yep. If we kept aluminum cans separate, they would be more valuable per unit, but cardboard, there's so much of it, it's still the most valuable, right? But when we mix cans and plastic, we don't get paid for that material because it's mixed together and they have to separate plastic 1, plastic 2, plastic 3, plastic 4, aluminum cans, steel cans, and there's a process for doing that, and it costs them money to do that. So they don't pay us for that material. And if we do get paid for paper, But if we mixed it with the plastic and cans, we would not get paid for it anymore.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
All right. So, my last question is, if you have like 30 seconds, so what do you want to say most to the general public, like the readers, audience, about the cardboard recycling? What do you want to do? What do you want them to do?
I'm glad you asked that. I could say it in probably 5 seconds.
Okay.
3 words even. Flatten your boxes.
Flatten your boxes. Okay.
Yes. Because it takes up less space, it's much more efficient to collect, it reduces contamination because an open cardboard box just is a magnet for people to throw other stuff in. So people use it as a trash can or whatever else, right? Or they'll leave stuff in it, like, oh, I'm just gonna throw the whole thing in, the plastic wrap's still in there, etc. But if it's flat, there's no contamination, it saves space, you know, it just makes life so much better for us. So that's, to me, that's my #1 message anywhere I go when I'm talking about cardboard. Cardboard is valuable, flatten your boxes. Okay.
Okay. That's great.
Yeah.
And I think that is easy for us to do.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, and if you have a lot of it, I mean, try to carry 10 unflattened boxes out to your car and put them in your trunk. You can't. They're huge. I mean, they take up half this room, right?
Yeah.
But if you flatten them, you can carry all 10 of them in one stack and stick them in your back seat or in your trunk or whatever else. You know, just so much easier. So. And the same is true. I mean, in every building on campus, somebody has to move that cardboard from point A to point B, and then we pick it up from there. And if it's flat, it's just less trips, it's so much easier, it's less time for them to stay. I mean, the whole thing, it's just, that's my, flatten your boxes.
Yeah, so based on your experience, do you think people right here are doing good or bad, like in terms of flattening their boxes?
It has improved pretty dramatically over campus, over time, yes. There are, well, here's one example. Here's a bad example. I have a picture. Yeah, my boss sent this to me this morning. Where is it? This is, the back of one. These are 2 dumpsters right next to each other. That's a trash dumpster. They're at least putting the recycling there, but notice it's not flat and it's not even in the dumpster. If you open those lids, there's a good chance that those dumpsters would not be full. They're probably empty. They're just tossing the cardboard on top of the dumpster, right? So that's one bad example. That's one of the worst on campus. That's probably the worst on campus. We actually do a competition where we try to incentivize the cleaners who are taking it from inside to outside to flatten the boxes, and we count. We're dumping a dumpster and we try to count, 27, cardboard boxes that were not flat, and then we generate a percentage based on volume, and we reward the group that flattens their cardboard the best. So everything that we can do to get people to flatten boxes.
What is the most efficient way to flatten box?
I'm glad you asked. If I had one, I would show you. Yeah, so let's look at an image of a cardboard box. So this cardboard box, let's say, usually there's a seam right down the middle of the bottom, right? Right, if you were looking at the bottom.
Oh, yeah.
Right, and there's a piece of tape that runs from here to here, right, on the bottom, right? The easiest way is to flip that on its side so that the bottom of it is here and this side is now on top, and push on the side of that box. What it does is it pushes that in and it loosens that piece of tape that's right there, and then you can just grab that piece of tape and just peel it down and open the box and flatten it. You don't need any tools. That's the most efficient way I have found to flatten a cardboard box. It doesn't always work because not all boxes have that seam, or they may have different types of tape or whatever. But that's the easiest way.
So let me repeat what you're saying. You just like.
I wish I had a better. Let's find a better image. Yeah, see that that box right there. Flip it up so that this is on top.
So this is on top.
That is on
like
top.
This.
Yep. And then push down, and what it does is it loosens this piece of tape right there. So it creates a gap, and you can just grab that piece of tape, peel it off, and then just peel it down and open the box right up and flatten it down.
Right here, like this.
Yep.
Okay.
Wish I had a side view of one of those. Yeah, I mean that's...
Because I think for me, it's not easy to flatten.
Sometimes it's not, right? Yeah. We could, if that's the last question you've got, we can walk out and I can demonstrate.
Okay.
There's, I'm sure, some boxes out here that we can play with.
I think my question is...
Any other questions or anything?
Sure.
Let me turn this off. Are you able to share your final?
Sure, no
paper?
problem. Yeah,
the article, or whatever.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
I'll send it to you. I have a draft and a final product.
Okay.
And once I finish the final one, I will send it to you.
Perfect. That sounds great.